This week, Brian Boss, how'd you do this week?
Not bad. 18th.
18th?
Not bad.
Okay.
Well, John got that, he got that first match under his belt, guys, and it looks like he's getting a little looser out there, and Norm Duke's going to have his hands full. That's my opinion.
And we can see Brian Boss right here joining us, and that'll be our...
The good-looking guy in the middle is Brian Boss.
What? I thought the old guy here. How old are you now?
36 and climbing.
Well, you're getting close to that 40 age, aren't you? Norm Duke taking the entire approach. Duke looks like he's got it back together now, Brian.
He sure does. He led a tournament over in Japan about a month and a half ago, led by more than 400 pins against 287 other players. And, he's still doing it.
Why do you think that he struggled up to that point, though, this year?
You know, you can look back at last year's Player of the Year, and you see that a lot when guys win Player of the Year the very next year. It's a little tough one.
I wonder if maybe that surgery he had on his foot might have bothered him a little bit. You think that might have got him off to kind of a slow start this year?
Well, you never know what's going on in somebody's mind, but I really think that after last year, you have a little lapse. He won 5 times, he won all that money, he just kind of laid back a little bit, and I think he's practicing a lot now.
Did that happen to you the year you had Player of the Year?
No.
You were still hungry, huh? At the 10-pin, no trouble for Norm Duke. John Handegard, who says his goal is to continue the pursuit of the perfect swing. That's our guest here, isn't it? The perfect swing?
Well, there's only been, in my opinion, 4 or 5 really great arm swings in all the years I watched bowling on the tour. One of them, of course, was Jim Stefanich. Dave Davis was another. This guy right here in the middle, Brian Voss, is one of the best I've ever seen. And when you get swings like this, it's hard to imagine how they can ever miss the pocket. John Handegard, the swing is so fluid, the balance so good at the foul line. It's just amazing that he can even miss a spare, much less miss the pocket.
Well, both players starting with strike 10-pin. John Handegard moving to his favorite of the 2 lanes, lane 29.
See, he averaged 227 on this pair throughout the competition during the week. This is a long grind for these guys, and a lot of hard work, a lot of effort going in just getting to this point.
Knocks the 10-pin over this time. What was the carry like this week, Brian?
Carry was very well. A lot of 4-9s for the right-handers, 6-8s for the left-handers. But, when you get kind of scores like we did this week, you got to have good carry.
What do you think the strength of Norm Duke's game is? Best part of his game?
In my opinion,
look at this. The blowout 7-10. Ladies and gentlemen, that is disaster. You think you've got a strike, and all of a sudden you've got something that's impossible to pick up. And you get a look at his wife, Karen. She can't believe it either.
That was a pretty tough break, but Norm Duke, in the last 3 years, when he developed a release that's allowed him to go around the boards with the best of them. And since he's learned how to do that, he's been really unstoppable.
He people say he throws that slow boat that goes out and comes back. Just to let everybody know what's happening, I'm Mike Durbin along with Earl Anthony. We're here in Kennewick, Washington at the Celebrity Bowl as the PBA continues on ESPN in the first match. John Handegard defeated Mike Albee by the score of 215 to 205. Now he faces Norm Duke, and he's up in the match. And we're in the 4th frame as Norm Duke strikes.
I think there's players that have the ability to make the same shot over and over again, and there's guys like Norm that go out there and just try and do whatever they can to the ball to create the largest margin of error.
Well, he was always one of the strongest players going up and at the pocket. I always felt Norm Duke, you give him anything out near the channel, and he just beat you to death.
Yeah.
You were one of those guys who could always play that shot tremendously well. The 2 of you guys had some great matches playing out there on that 5 board or near the channel. Like you say, he's developed the ability to cross boards with the best of them now. So he's probably one of the more complete players, don't you feel?
Absolutely.
And he's always had a lot of courage under pressure.
John Handegard converts the 7th pin. Leads by 13 right now as we enter the 5th frame.
John looks pretty loose out there. I don't think he's missed the pocket yet.
The scores that they had, though, these 5 players averaged over 238 on this pair during the week. He continues to strike on lane 29. No trouble there.
Norm Duke was making a few adjustments in the thumb hole there. Maybe he's having a little problem with it, but he's so used to making those adjustments, you might say, on the fly and getting ready to go again. And look at that average on the television pair, ladies and gentlemen, 254.
Had trouble, didn't he?
Yeah. A little adjustment there. A little more ball speed, huh, Brian? A little more direct?
I think he moved a little right and decided to go a little bit straighter.
Well, why do you do that right in the middle of the match after you hit the pocket? The 7-10 made him do that?
I think so. I think the ball came in a little late for him, and that pocket hit the 7-10, and he felt like he had to get the ball into the pocket at a more direct angle. We're going to take a look at his style. The Norm Duke, this is a guy that Brian Voss has said can play anywhere on the lane with the best of them. Here's a look at him. You can see his heels hanging over the back of the approach. He takes 6 big steps here to get to the foul line. Remember, he's only about 5'8", and got them all down that time.
Great shot.
Right back in the lead, just like that. Norm Duke leads by 7. John Handegard coming up in the 6th frame. We'll see how this match comes out right after this.
Such an up and down player, Mike. If he had good years back to back, he'd probably be over $2 million by now.
I don't know, it looks pretty good to me. And here's another part of the list, and our guest here tonight, Brian Voss, is almost $1.4 million right now. Earl Anthony at the top of that list. He was the first to get there.
Haven't got any of it left either. And here's the youngest player to ever become one of these millionaires, Parker Bone, at the age of 31. He'll be 32 this coming Thursday. So we want to say happy birthday to Parker Bone III.
And if Norm Duke wins this match, he joins him. But John Handegard's going to try and prevent that as he takes the lead back by 3 pins. Big shot there for Handegard because Duke seems wired. He's averaging 250 on this pair. He can strike out for that.
Especially on the right-hand lane. That was a big shot for him. The left-hand lane, John seems to be more comfortable there. He seems to think he can strike better. He's making a better release because he's more comfortable, I think. He's getting out of the ball better on the left-hand lane. Watch his ball roll up and set right there.
Oh!
My.
Hello. John says hello. That's what the 8-pin says to him.
Let's take a look at this. Watch what happens here. The ball goes just dead flush in the pocket. The head pin almost got to the 8. Just jumped around it. Just like you said, Mike, the true path of the game of bowling.
I never have believed that myself. True.
No.
Bad rack, right?
Bad rack, always. At the 8-pin, cuts his lead to 2, but boy, fiancé says, why now?
Why now is right. Norm Duke is lined up. He's made a great adjustment on the lanes. Brian Voss noticed that he was going more direct, a little more ball speed. All of a sudden, he's striking.
Oh, that's that 10-pin out, slick as a whistle.
Here's the different releases you were talking about.
Absolutely.
Look at this. Duke's big 880. 300 to tie Purvis Granger, 300 to tie Doug Wallace, and in both of those 300 games, he was the last player to finish.
I saw both of those. It was...
And he loses to Brian Goebel. He's saying, what do you have to do to win here?
You can bet if he gets by this match, there's going to be a little grudge in Brian Goebel and him.
Trying for another one here. That didn't happen here, by the way, as he leads a solid 10, keeping Handegard in the match. That's happened throughout his career. One of those matches happened here, though.
One of them was last night. We got to watch that last night. He had to strike out in the 10th, 11th, and 12th to tie. It was amazing to watch.
And one of them happened last year in Peoria when he led that tournament and went strike, spare out the sheet and lost to Brian Goebel.
Pretty tough when you spare the second frame and the match is over, huh?
At the 10-pin, has it dead center. You know, the PBA always does that. They make the wives and the fiancés sit next to one another. They're not looking at each other.
They're not.
They're touching, though. Was there sparks there with those arms?
I got to think so.
Well, that solid 8 is even better, bigger right now.
cost him 21 pins. Don't forget to join us Wednesday Night Baseball. The Kansas City Royals that are struggling right now against the New York Yankees, trying to get it together. 7:30 Eastern Time.
Here's another look. It looked just exactly like that solid 8, Brian, huh?
Just another great shot. I tell you, this is a big shot.
Ninth frame is good lane. Will it carry? Yes.
Get out of there.
Well, he's not backing down to these kids, is he, Brian?
It's wonderful to see somebody his age doing this well. It really is.
You know that if he wins, he's the oldest champion ever. He's Fazio out.
That would, you know.
And besides that, Brian, he's really not that old. 57 isn't very old, because I'm 57.
Okay.
Of course, you're going to get 57 one of these days, and you won't look any different than you do now, I'm sure.
You know, Norm can strike out, and he can't shut Handegard out.
Got the 10 pin that time.
Knocks it out. Well, it's going to come down. Who can perform in the 10th frame? The difference is 3 pins right now.
Well, Duke needs this next hit just to take the lead in the match, and like Brian said, he can't shut Handegard out.
But the thing is that John's got to finish on his tough lane, the right lane.
And I'm sure because Duke finished higher in the standings, he had the choice of starting lanes, and he had that in mind when he selected that lane.
Thinking all the time. To take the lead. Can't do it any better than that.
My.
Pretty shot. He can do it.
He's got all the releases. Got all the talent. Look at those eyes, folks. He looks like a predator out there. How'd you like to look into those eyes? Like looking in the eyes of a tiger, huh? He's ready.
I think he really wants this one bad, too.
Look at the concentration. This is a must.
Solid 10, meaning Handegard only needs 1.
Sometimes one's harder to get than 2 or 3. You know what?
I don't know. What you guys have been in that position before. How would you feel? Would you rather just get 1 or need 2?
Oh, obviously you'd rather get just 1 because, you know, if you get the first one, you still got to get another one. That's tough. But sometimes you look past it. You know, it's almost like sometimes it's harder to get a mark than it is to get a strike.
Yeah,
because you try to play safe sometimes, and that's a mistake. You always have to be aggressive to be a winner. And I'll bet you John attacks the pocket on this shot. He will attack the pocket.
To see if he gets it out on the lane like you've noticed, or whether it comes off freely.
If he doesn't strike, I would guess it'll be a 4-pin because he will attack the pocket.
For the win. Oh,
great shot. Get it. 2 down and 2 to go for Big John Handegard.
Well, he still needs 7 pins, 7 spare.
9 pins and it's a winner, right?
9 pins.
And you can bet John Handegard knows exactly what he needs.
He's been getting 9 all day.
Can't throw it any better.
That's a winner. Norm's million.
Well, John Handegard is the winner here. He'll be in the 230s. When we come back, we'll talk to you about the rest of the summer schedule. Don't you dare touch that flicker. That's